If you're watching this right now, you are so blessed because I have manifested that only the right people come across this video. This is a tarot reading for the entirety of 2026 for all signs. So if you're watching this right now, this message was meant to find you because you are one of the lucky few who is going to have an unbelievable 2026. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever seen up until this point, and it's going to be very unimaginable. Like, it's going to blow your mind kind of energy. So I want to really open this up and just do a very comprehensive overview of what 2026 has in store as like a play-by-play. So I'm going to draw one card. It's going to give us what the whole energy of 2026 is all about, and then I would like to go over each month from January till December and then look at it as a whole picture. So this is really going to be a very comprehensive video, like I said. So I'm really excited to dive in. So let's get started. Let's pull this one magical card. I just saw 111 on the timer. Already looking good. This energy is so good. 2026 is going to be such an amazing year. I truly believe it's going to be so full of blessings and miracles. Everything that you prayed for is coming in. Okay, I'm just going to take that for what that is. I'm going to pull it out. I pulled, or I should say this flew out. The Empress flew out. So I feel already with 111, because we have the number 3 in Roman numerals, which represents 111 as well. So it's already a beautiful synchronicity. This is definitely what was meant to come out. I feel like 2026 is pregnant with potential. Like, there is something being born in 2026 that is going to give birth to so many things. Like, this is your baby. This is your pride and joy. This is what 2026 is all about. And you've been waiting so long for this moment. And right now, I feel like we're going through labor pains because we're about to give birth as we move into a brand new year. And so you're emerging as like this new baby with this completely fresh outlook on the world. And it's going to benefit you because you see things through clear eyes. With a bunch of clarity has been given to you in 2025. Like, you've learned so many lessons, you've evolved so much, and it's given you a lot of clarity on what matters to you, the kind of life that you want to live, how you want to present yourself. And I feel like you're going to live like royalty. And as a child of God, you are deserving and already in line for a divine inheritance. So I see that coming in as well in 2026. It's going to be a very prosperous year with a bountiful harvest, so much fruit, so much grain, so much sustenance and life, and so much abundance. Like, you'll have enough to go around. You are crowned. You are meant to be a leader. So I know that whoever is watching this right now, this video is for only a select few. This is for a very special collective of people. Those who are meant to become leaders of this new world, who are like royalty, who are deserving, worthy, just as they are. And then they are presented with this blessing in 2026 that is going to bring so much prosperity to your life. So I see you moving. There's this intense movement in 2026 where you're either changing locations, you're changing jobs, you're getting promoted, you're getting a big raise. These are the things that are coming in. And then outside of that, we have these supernatural events that are going to become normal because people are starting to see through the illusion of the world. That's another theme of 2026, is liberation and freedom. And so we are leaving behind this illusion that has held us back for so long. And 2025 was the year of a snake. So we're shedding these layers and emerging as this brand new shiny version of ourselves and being reborn and liberated as we move into the year of the horse. And so there's so much with this theme around rebirth and resurrection that is really prominent lately, and this transition from where you were, where you are now, and where you're headed. And that's that labor process. You have to go through labor in order to be born. And this is where you're at. You're in that transition right before the birth happened. So this is already a very exciting reading. This is such a promising card for the energy of 2026. And being a number 3, it is also like a sign of completion, that you have gone through this past, present, future integration. Like the Holy Trinity comes to mind. There is so much power in the number 3, including like completion, paying your dues, and this resurrection, rebirth, death paradigm is also wrapped up in the Holy Trinity and the power of 3, that 333, and how that translates into 369 and even more abundance. Like it's so coded in abundance, and almost like this is like a natural state thing. This is something that is owed to you, that you've been waiting for, and now it's finally coming to fruition, literally. So already this is so good. I'm already feeling called to pull the next cards. So let's see. I feel like your struggle is over. Your heartbreak is over. There's so many endings that came in 2025 that I really want to acknowledge and honor, because even if this is what's meant to happen, or it's for the best, or it's just to benefit you for moving on from certain places, people, or things, there's still so much grief and heartache that's attached to that. And even if you suffered from an even more profound loss, like a death of a loved one, for example, unfortunately, time does go on, and we either move and we stay stuck, or we keep moving forward. And that's what's happening here, is like you're leaving behind the things that you can't bring with you, and the things that you're ready to leave behind. So it really is uh, revealing who you really are underneath all your pain, all your trauma, all your grief, because it doesn't define you. It doesn't define your spirit. Your spirit is a whole other entity that exists outside of this earthly vessel, that decided to go through this life and these challenges and these different cycles that we are going through, especially with the cycle of the snake year and what that all means in terms of shedding layers, into the year of the horse, and then a number 9 year, and then a number 1 year, which goes with that 111 theme, and then 333 and the Holy Trinity. So just know, like, this is all like divine orchestration. This is something that is destiny. You are destined for this. You are destined for more. You are destined to live a spectacular life. And I feel like you've done so much work that it's prepared you up until this point. 2025 was all about preparation and gestation. And now you are being born. You are being liberated. So that's what's emerging in 2026. And you're being crowned. Crowned glory is what I'm getting. You're receiving your divine inheritance. You're owning your power and your authority. I see that with this beautiful pregnant empress with her scepter in her hand. She has the power. She has the courage and the strength, and she is worthy of what she desires. There's this expression on her face that this is so normal for her. So let's see what the rest of 2026 has in store. Let's really dive in and start with January. Let's pull a card for each month and just like dive in. We're going to keep the Empress right at the top where she belongs. And we're going to dive in 1 month at a time. What does January 2026 have in store? What do we need to know about January? How is this spectacular year going to start? I'm using the Starlight Tarot deck, by the way. It's linked in the description as well as the pinned comment if you're interested. It's such a fantastic tarot deck for storytelling, which is why it got the honor of being the deck that I used for this reading. I felt so called to this deck. It's so fun, and I'm still new to it, but we get along just well. It's a very fun deck. All right, back to it. What does 2026 have in store? What does January have in store? What is the energy of January 2026? The Temperance reversed, apparently. So we got this upside down. So that tells me that your patience is finally paying off. There's this impatience, but it really is just like that point where things finally happen and you're on the verge of breakthrough. And it's even that point in labor that women are at their most exhausted point, but they're literally at the end right before the babies get born, where they feel like they can't do it anymore, they can't wait any longer. And then next thing you know, that the baby's born. So I'm going to keep coming back to that sense of rebirth and being born as this brand new person in 2026. So when the temperance comes up in reverse, it tells me that you have a propensity for having a difficult time going with the flow, and you've really worked on this last year. So this is confirmation that the wait is over and that your patience is paying off. But it's going to really test you in that area as you move into January, because you're waiting for this to happen. Like, you've been hearing it from me and so many other people that this ball is dropping in 2026. And I am now reminded of that ball, that countdown ball in Times Square, as we call in the new year. So that's what's happening, that it's almost going to be like a click, like a reset. And the second 2026 starts, it's like a portal is opening and then it's closing and you can't go back. Like, that shift is really going to help you transition into this brand new person where you go with the flow. You learn to tap in with that universal flow, because energy never, it's forceful, but in such like an elegant, intelligent, intuitive way. It's not rigid. It doesn't force things. That doesn't, I guess it does. Like when a dam is released, I feel like that is also relevant right now, that that dam of that pressure is building up, that weight, that intensity, and it's finally releasing. That ball is dropped, everything's clicking into place, and the doors are opening, and then this flood of abundance and prosperity is going to come into your life because you're being born and you're going to receive divine blessings. So it's almost going to be like you're walking on water. Like, you're going to feel so elevated, so divine in 2026, and very holy, very protected. And you are going to be a beacon to so many people. You're going to become a saint to people, because you've really done the work in 2025 and it really tested you, and you've emerged as this whole new person who's integrated this past, present, and future version of yourself that has completed your wholeness. So it's made you very saint-like, because there's so much virtue in all of that that you've learned, including that patient, saint-like attitude where you're just here trying to do better and to be an example of to others. And so people are going to see you in this brand new light as you emerge in 2026. So January is about learning to go with the flow and feeling very enlightened, and that you are ascending in 2026. When you are born, you're going to drop so much dead weight that you're going to feel almost weightless. That's what I'm getting with the temperance card as well. And you're going to be floating through life with so much ease, going with the flow, not forcing things that aren't meant for you, and just feeling so connected to the divine, feeling like an angel. You are going to bring heaven on earth. You are going to bring heaven back down to earth, and you are going to elevate up to heaven, because that is the truth of our connection to the divine, and how spirituality works on a above and below um, perspective. So you're going to feel very saint-like. So feathers are very relevant in January, and there's that sense of liberation and freedom with that set of wings. You have gained your wings. You are an angel. You are an angel sent here to help people ascend and to heal others. And I feel like you are a natural healer, and that's something that you are here to share with the world. You are here to help others and be seen and be visible and grow an empire, because when you're also pregnant, you stand out and people love to stare. And when you elevate yourself and you live like a luxurious lifestyle and you're a royalty, you stand out. So you are meant to stand out. And this is what I'm getting, is that you are a chosen one. You are here to serve a divine purpose, and you are embodying that in January. This is the person who is emerging. Like, you are not feeling bound by your physical vessel and the limitations that come with that, like gravity and how things will hold you down and weigh you down and hold you back. And you've released this in 2025. That's what this whole year was about, as part of the year of the snake. So you are being liberated, and you are really going with the flow because you are following that on a daily basis. You are committed, devoted to yourself and to God every single day, and showing up as this brand new version of yourself, and only taking things day by day, because you have a tendency to worry about the future. But because you've integrated that, you know that you are being led and you are divinely protected and guided, and you are meant to move through life with ease, with no struggle, not being weighed down by anything, not even your emotions. You're feeling so free, so at peace with all the work that you've done. You really integrated your shadow and you've become a beacon of light, and you're being liberated. Feathers represent freedom and liberation and flying. Like, you're going to take off. If you are experiencing struggle or challenges, or everything feels so chaotic, it's because you're being drawn back. It's that dip before you take off. And when you release all that weight, it's going to shoot up. And 2025 was also about grounding yourself, learning to soothe your nervous system, and working on your intuition and your self mastery and your self love and your physical environment. So you're really grounding yourself in the physical realm, which allows you to take root. And then in the spiritual realm, all this all the blessings are just bursting forth because you've grounded yourself, and there's such a solid foundation from which you are blasting off. So that is perfect in terms of like this sense of liberation as you are reborn and resurrected, like a phoenix bursting from ashes. You are refined, walking through fire, and now you are emerging as a stronger, smarter, more cunning, more beautiful version of yourself. Like, you are really shining in 2026. That's January. That's just January. All right, let's do February. What do we need to know about February 2026? My mic's still working. You're feeling really disciplined by February 2026. Like, you're very serious, very committed to your growth. This is what I get with the King of Swords here. By this point, you're building your empire, and you're ready to really take control of your life. By this point, like, you're really serious, because so many people tend to fizzle out by February. They set these New Year's resolutions, and there's something different about 2026 when it's not about resolutions. It's about stepping into your authority, but also this sense of devotion. And there's this balance that's also being restored to your life, because that's part of the healing that you've done. And healing restores balance, or restores equilibrium, because dysfunction comes from something being either deficient or over um, over limit. What is it called? I don't know. I can't think of the word right now. I'm not gonna get hung up on it. But it's either one way or another. And the body and the universe and nature is always trying to restore harmony. So there's this like going with the flow in January and allowing that to just really start you off. Like that's the energy where you're just ready to emerge and you're easing into the year and you're going with the flow. And then February is trying to bring you back down to earth, but still keeping you in alignment with your goals. So there's this strategy, this discipline, this logic, and that goes with it. So I think of like the military and how strategic they are when it comes to achieving a goal or a mission. So this is where you're really going to start locking into this vision that you have, because you know that 2026 is going to be amazing. But by this point, you realize like it's because you're creating it. So you're going to be focusing heavily on your goals at this time, especially because we're moving into spring. So you're trying to lock in before we get into that more um, liberated energy. February is almost like January 2.0. So it's allowing you to revisit the intentions that you set in January and to recalibrate yourself to your goals and to analyze how things are going, how things are moving. Because when you think about it, even if it's only 1 month that's gone, that's still a huge portion of the year. We only have 12 months. So here it's going to call you back to your goals and to make sure that you're showing up how you want to show up. So this is an invitation to revisit January after January is completed. Like go over January and see everything that you have achieved. Check your progress and then analyze the data and go from there. This is what February is about, because if you want to move quickly, you also need to be strategic, and going with the flow allows you to avoid things that are misaligned. So that's great. But that's very feminine, that's very intuitive. And then there's this masculine balance that needs to balance that out as well, where it's very logical, it's very disciplined, it's very strategic, and there's a lot of clarity and focus behind it. So February is like where you're balancing out going with the flow and really learning this new version of yourself and how they work on both a masculine and feminine type of energy. Because even if you're restoring your femininity and you're healing like hypervigilance and hustling and forcing and really like operating in like your masculine energy too much, even as a male, that's when male toxicity happens or masculine toxicity happens. So it must be restored by integrating more feminine energy into it. So in January, you're full in that feminine energy. So February is about restoring balance to that. And this is where you become more strategic and you're able to look at the data that you have from January so that you can move forward proactively instead of feeling like you have to do damage control or make up for anything. So this is all perfectly healthy. It's very balanced, and we need that like masculine essence to balance out our tendency to become too spiritual. Like there's psychosis when we get too imbalanced in that area. So you don't want to float away, because if you have wings and you're being liberated, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself. So this is kind of cutting through that with more logic and working those two and balancing those two together in February. So I see you just really locking in at this point, and you know that you're collapsing timelines because you are not bound by physical limitation anymore. So with these two energies combined, this balance between masculine and feminine, there's so much happening in January and February, and then things are really going to start picking up in March. So let's do March. What do we need to know about March? Okay, yes, definitely things are picking up in March. I pulled the Knight of Wands. So wands and swords are their airy energy, their spiritual energy, their fire energy. So there's passion and intensity, and so there's balance here as well. From what I see, like there's natural unveiling going on. Like you're moving through each month like as your own main character, and so far the reading is very balanced. So we have the Tempress, which is showing like the water element with the water jugs, and then we have the King of Swords, which is mental, and then we have the Knight of Wands, which is more fire element and more passion. So far we're just missing one element, the physical element. So maybe that'll pop up in the next one. So I'm gonna put that down. Leave that for now and not get ahead of myself. And so we have the Knight of Wands. So this is where things are really going to pick up, because you have your staff drawn, the horse is rearing, and you are reaching like this peak. You were at the summit and you get to really just enjoy the view at this point, like this climb, this steady climb in January and February. It's like, it's not so steep, but it is like that upwards incline where you still need that forward momentum, that action taking, that deliberate intention, forward intention, and allowing that to carry you, and then that discipline and that consistency and the balance between the two. And then you finally reach the summit and you get to enjoy the view. And that's only like, you spent your time getting to this point, and now March is where you just get to enjoy the view. And this is where the adventure actually begins, because you're at the top of the mountain. So you are being led by purpose up until this point, and you were going with the flow. So that's keeping you in alignment with your values and your purpose and your obedience to your daily actions and your vision and the direction you're taking. So that's that upward trajectory. And now you're at this summit where you get to really start to be carried by that discipline, all the work that you've done, because you are in charge, and that's what's happening here. So the first month was more about like being liberated, owning that identity, stepping into that disciplined version of yourself and taking those daily actions that reinforce who you want to be and who you actually are, and then allowing that momentum to take off in March, where you are so excited and feeling very determined at this point in terms of this higher purpose. Like you are a knight at this point. So you've gone through this evolution, and it's only January. Like you thought 2025 was a great story. Just wait till 2026, because March is when things really start to happen in 2026. And it's because of all the work you've done in 2025 and this like 9-year cycle. So you're in a year 10 for yourself, and you're also in a year 10 in 2025, which is year number 1. So in March, things are really going to start happening for you. Like you're on the move. So this is where maybe you're actually moving. Um, you're starting that new job, or you're really like taking off in that new job. Like you found your dream job. You are the person for it. You know it. And then by the 3rd month, you're like are really acclimatized to this new environment, this new person, this new occupation, this new job role, this new identity. And now you're really taking off. And then you have 2 months of data to go by. So that's even more experience, because that daily action, even after 60 days, after 2 months, is a lot. And you're integrating more daily habits that are aligned with how you want to live, the things that you need to heal, the deficiencies you need to make up for where you're getting too ahead of yourself. It's like restoring order and restoring balance. So it's making up for all of the stuff that you've been through in the last 9 years, and it's healing so many areas of your life. And this is why your environment is changing. This is why you're moving. This is why you're switching jobs. This is why you've chosen a whole new path. This is your higher path. You are being led by this higher version of yourself, which is your spiritual side, this crowned beauty. So things might start to stir up in March. I'm getting that as well, just because life has its challenges and its ups and downs. So even with a summit, there's still like this up and down, and so you're ready and willing to fight moving forward. Like you're ready to take on anything that comes at you, any challenges, and when you upgrade or you level up as like a main character, a lot of my readings have that energy as well, main character energy. You are taking things head on, and the enemies are stronger, the challenges are harder, and it takes more strength, it takes more endurance, but this is what you've been preparing for. And so I feel like you're unafraid. Like you're so committed and so connected to the divine that you trust it blindly. You're moving forward blindly, and you have so much confidence that you didn't have before. So you know that any challenges come your way, you're just going to completely demolish, annihilate. So March is like when things start to speed up, but also that's when new challenges start to come. That's when you're tested, and you will be tested. That never goes away, no matter how amazing your life is, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much experience you have. You will always be tested because your growth is always needing that resistance to get stronger. So I see you really starting to up level March, because these new challenges are going to give you so much more experience, and it's all part of the process. All right, so let's do April. What do we have for April? What do we need to know about April 2026? Okay. Yes. So we have the Four of Pentacles, which is perfect because April is the number 4 months. So you're receiving this divine inheritance, and this is telling me like this is when the prosperity, the money really starts to flow in. So you know that you moving into this new identity in 2026, you're going to start to see like a trickle of this pressure being released. And then it's really going to start to flood in because of all the consistency up until this point in April. Like by April, we're very well into the year. And when this comes in, um, I want you to hold back a little bit. We don't want to get carried away, because what's coming is going to really shock your nervous system because of how big it is and how amazing it is and how unimaginable it is. And you are really going to be something to behold. So right now, the energy I'm getting from the Four of Pentacles is that when this comes in, you need to kind of keep it to yourself. Like, even though you're here to shine and be an example, when it happens, you don't want to take any action right away. You just kind of want to ground yourself and collect yourself. So I see that happening here is, even though you're starting to really show the prosperity and abundance and affluence that's coming into your life, by April, I don't want you telling anyone about what's coming in that time. You have to hold back a little bit, because um, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. We really want to keep things balanced and grounded and aligned and in equilibrium with itself. This is about intentional living and making sure that you are not making impulsive decisions, especially when your nervous system is very, very excited. So I want you to just hold back in April and not tell anyone about this. Really keep this close to yourself, because you were sitting on a treasure chest. You were sitting on a gold mine. That is what she's sitting on, is a chest. So you are literally standing on top of gold. what's coming in April is very, very, very prosperous. Like, you are going to receive a large amount of money. It's going to be the foundation of your empire. So this is why you have to keep your mouth shut, because people will want it and they'll want to ruin it, or they'll be envious of it, and they'll just create so much drama. And part of this evolution is being humble. And I don't want you to also get greedy, because money also challenges us. It could corrupt the best of us. So it's another test that it's going to show your character, and money only amplifies who you actually are in your heart. So if you're a greedy person, it's only going to make you more greedy. But not you. You don't have to worry about that. You are one of the people who are going to be blessed with wealth, because you are one of the ones who can be trusted with it, that you are not changed by it. So it's just being protective of it, protecting your peace, protecting your wealth, and making sure that you're doing the right things to keep it safe from the government, from other people, from taxes. This is the month where your status is really increasing and up leveling, and it's beginning to show, and then you're going to receive this windfall, and you need to just keep it close. Like, you're either receiving a massive bonus, or you've received an inheritance or a windfall of some sort. Keep it to yourself and do what's responsible to begin with. Like, don't spend it, pay off debt, seek out advisors who will help you, unbiased advisors who will help you management, so that you are investing it properly so you can multiply it. I really see this happening in April, and you're going to start either create a trust of some sort, or you're going to incorporate your business. Something big is happening in your finances in April. So these are just the different ways that this could happen, because there's so many different people and different contexts in this reading. All right, so let's see what May is all about. Okay, came up. So May is the Three of Wands. So whatever happened in April is going to set you on this new path. You've really have discovered who this new person is all about by now, because you're 5 months into it, and you're still at the summit. Like, you built your empire on the summit. You've set this foundation. You've crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's and did all the responsible things in April. You finished your taxes. You made sure that you set up the right trusts and lawyers, and even a will is prominent at this time. Being very responsible with your money that you're going to receive in April. And then once you set that foundation and you've kind of gotten that all set up, you feel safe to go exploring. Your empire is built, the foundation is set, the house has been built, and now you're exploring your environment up on top of the mountain. You were literally on top of the mountain, and now you're like exploring in the woods. So you've really evolved into this person who is working on a few projects by now. You have this third one, and now that the first two are completed, because these projects are developing very quickly, you'll find that as you own your potential, that it's really easy to create a lot in a short amount of time, because we are so powerful as humans. We have so much potential, and you are just so focused that your energy and your time is being spent only on like mastering yourself, mastering your life, making your life better, and building your empire and being true to that vision. So by now you've accomplished quite a bit. You've made two big projects, and you're on this third one, and you've set your foundation and you have this base, and now you're moving forward on this brand new journey. I have crows in here, I have ships, I have a body of water, and this view, this spectacular view. So this, whatever's happening in May is going to take you onto a new path. And this project is very prominent. It's like building off of what you've already built for yourself as you move into the second half of 2026. So you're going on this journey, but you've built this fleet where it's just going to take you in so many directions. And it's going to, I don't know, I sense travel. Travel is very big in 2026. You're going to be traveling a lot all over the place for pleasure. You're aligned with your hobbies, and travel is one of your hobbies. Like, you love travel, you love cooking, you love eating and experiencing different cultures, and you're cultivating that. And then you have your career that takes you to different places, and then your investments that take you to different places, and your just natural inclination of curiosity and exploration is coming out in May, because you're moving into the summer months. So now you're thinking about like your vacation and time to yourself now that you've done so much work, like you're rewarding yourself with it. So I see you traveling, and it's either going to be um, like a cruise or a boat or something on water, maybe like a canoe trip, or you're flying somewhere. And I see you flying over water. So maybe you're going to Europe, or you're going to the Caribbean as well. That's coming up in May. May is a really good time to go traveling at those months before it gets too hot. So there is travel prominent, or you're making plans to travel very soon in in May for the summer. The summer is full of so much adventure. So this is when you're going to start focusing more on that, and that energy really picks up because the weather starts getting nice and the days are long and you have so much energy. So you're kind of focusing on different things at this point because you have so much more energy now as we move through the spring, and spring is starting to blossom into beautiful buds and flowers. And so your view gets even more spectacular at this time, and your blessings are going to just keep multiplying. And by now you have quite a bit, my friend. You've done a lot of work, and you are being rewarded so profoundly for it because you are living in accordance with your divine purpose. And God, the universe, loves to reward that on a daily basis. So you are really connected to your higher path, and you're so devoted to it, devoted to God, devoted to yourself, devoted to the work, the vision, what you're building. So much love that you are putting in all area excuse me, in all areas of your life. And that is giving birth to so much prosperity. And then we come back to the pregnant empress again. So it's giving birth to so much in your life at this time, so many miracles, so many blessings, just a beautiful return on effort, on investment, on the skills that you're developing, the strengths that you're increasing, and then you're even working on your weaknesses and mastering yourself. And you're so confident up until this point, and you've really earned it because you've lacked confidence. And I sensed that really changed in 2025 for you, where you decided that you wanted more and you were going after it. And by now, like, your confidence is really starting to shine and people are starting to notice. So just imagine what life is going to be like here on out, especially by May. So let's get into June. We are now in the second half of 2025. This is already such a beautiful reading. It's unfolding exactly as I thought it would. Like, I've already picked up on this with my intuition and just what's been coming up for the last like several months. It's just a beautiful confirmation. All right. What do we have for June? Okay, I'm going to go with that. Okay, so we have the Tower card, but the Tower card is reversed. So I feel like there's so much order that you have restored up until this point. This is really like a pivotal time in 2026 because you're halfway through the year and you've set your foundation, you've set your base, you've gone exploring, and now you're into this second half. And it's going to be different from the first half, but only um like compounded from all the work you've done. Like, you've really set that foundation. You've done so much work up to this point, and now you're moving into the second half, which is almost like a brand new year. Like there's so much evolution you've done up until this point, and then you start to count down the clock until 2027, and then it really starts to feel very serious. So there's so much you want to achieve in the next 4 years that I feel by like 2026 you're entering like a whole new life, a whole new timeline, because that's you've embarked on this new path. You've received your money, and now your status and your life has elevated, and it's restoring order. Like you're healing so much, like poverty wounds, ancestral wounds. It's bringing like your life story, your life path, your soul path onto um, its proper trajectory. Like it's bringing so much order back to what has been destroyed, what has been hurt, what has crumbled, what was set on shaky foundation. It's like you're rebuilding not only your life, but all past lifetimes, all your ancestors. You really are someone special in your lineage. This is what I'm getting, because this isn't just like healing you and the damage that you've done that you blame yourself for over the course of your life, but like you're healing thousands of lifetimes. Your aunts, all your ancestors, all versions of yourself, your childhood self, your higher self, your lower self, like all the different dimensions of yourself, your DNA. You know, the Tower card scares people because there's so much chaotic and intense energy that comes with it, but it comes in reverse. And it's just, you've really transformed into this completely different person who has everything you want. They've become someone who would have protected you when you were younger, who would have stood in harm's way to make sure that you were safe. You really light the way for other people because you've been through it. What you've been through would destroy other people, but it's only made you stronger, but also softer. So as you emerge into this person who has transmuted and integrated all their hurt and their family's hurt and their ancestors' hurt and all their past lives, you've healed all of that. You are a curse breaker. So June, it's really going to feel like you've done so much because of not only what you've achieved in 2026, but what you've done for your family and your lineage. And that's what legacy is all about. It's not just about money or building your empire. It's honoring the life that you were given, the gifts that you were given, everything that was passed down to you made you who you are, and you're honoring that and you're healing them. So June is going to be a time of reflection, I feel. You're going to be so proud of all the work that you've done up until June, because with your determination up to this point, you were so prepared and so proactive to make the second half of 2026 even better. So you've set this like solid foundation. See what July is all about. Like so much damage control that you fixed. Like you've done so much work. What's July about? We have the Magician for July. So yeah, you're just refining. You're just becoming more skilled, more evolved, leveling up like crazy in 2026. Like the challenges that are thrown at you are giving you so much experience, and you're just like slashing through them like nothing. And you've reached this level of mastery where you've disciplined your mind, you've restored your finances, you're investing, you're building your empire strategically, you've mastered your emotions and your discipline. Like you are feeling so in control at this point, so evolved, so cosmic, so divine. You are a true alchemist because you've transmuted everything that you've been through into this power, this power that you carry with you that you could tap into anytime. Like reality is bending to your will at this point. So you feel so in control, so masterful, like you can make anything grow. Everything you touch turns to gold. You have the Midas touch, and you're realizing this power in July. Like you thought you were powerful in January and February, and then when March started to ramp up, things really took off for you, and you've accomplished so much work. Sorry, just change my position. You've accomplished so much work in 2026, and you've reached this level of like master in July. And now you're really getting so much done because of how much time and energy is being devoted to this mastery, this discipline. And you're collapsing timelines. You are realizing you control your future. You're manipulating time. You're really connected to those higher dimensions of self. Like you are even commanding like your spiritual gifts at this time, like your lucid dreaming, your sixth sense, your third eye. You have spiritual discernment. You have access to cosmic wisdom at any given moment. Like the downloads that come in are constant. Like it's a constant stream of consciousness that is so clear because you were so tuned in, so aligned, and so refined. And the magician is symbolic of that, this confirmation of that. So that's what that energy is about in July. And you're really devoted to the different areas of your life and making that grow. Like you've planted your seeds and you worked through the year, and spring came and summer is here, and now like things are really growing, and you're tending to your garden, and you are a master gardener, and you're making things grow, and your crop is massive. Your yields are massive in July, and it's really going to set the tone for the second half of 2026, because July, you're just starting to get ramped up. You're in that second half and you're owning all that energy. You're taking it, you're absorbing it, you're alchemizing it, and you're transmuting it. So it's not just like your physical health that's improving, that increases your output. It's not just your financial health that helps increase your output, because it allows you to like invest in yourself and grow your money and invest in your skills. You're also putting it in like the habits that you keep reinforcing, the habits that you keep stacking, your relationships, your physical health, like your fitness, for example, your nutrition. Like things are just compounding, and the rewards and the gains keep multiplying because it just keeps reinforcing that the work that you're doing and this discipline and this mastery and refinement that you're working on. So you just keep up leveling. And so all the love that you're putting in all areas of your life is really flourishing, and your crops are massive. So that's what's happening in July. It's so synchronized with the energy of the year and the seasons. You are so tapped in and so aligned with the natural force of life and the changing of time, and how you can even manipulate time. It's crazy. Like the spiritual gifts, the psychic gifts, massive upgrades, all areas of your life in July. And then this is like setting the tone for the second half. So what does August have to say? What is August 2026 all about? Five of Wands. We see all these people fighting. I feel like this is where you're going to feel challenged in certain areas, but it's almost like you're starting to expand at this point, like where you're trying to employ a team of people, and this is new territory for you because you're a leader and you're really owning that identity in 2026 as this leader. So you're starting to accumulate fans, a following. Your visibility has increased so much that people are going to start fighting over you in August. And it can be very distracting because there's this, your anonymity is gone, your notoriety is here, and then there's so much noise that comes up with this, so many opinions, and it starts to affect your alignment. So you want to stay focused in August because things are really going to ramp up to a point where people are going to feed off your energy, like energy vampires. So it's important to stay disciplined, just to stay, maintain that homeostasis, that equilibrium, really protect your sense of peace and not let other people's um, opinions get the best of you. Like what they want is their motivation. And even if they work under you, they are motivated by their own dreams and aspirations. So it's important to rein that in and make sure that things are aligned, that you make sure that even the people that you bring on, the talent, how you try to delegate, that the people you trust are on the same page as you. Because if you implement the right people, you will have a very synergistic energy, and teamwork makes the dream work. Let's just say that. So something's happening in your social life in August that it's important to be mindful of, because it's going to test you again, and it's going to try to cause chaos and disarray. And it's just like letting people take advantage of you or walk all over you. It's just another challenge to restore order, to maintain that alignment and that homeostasis. So what is September all about? Getting to the end here. What is September 26th all about? What do we need to know about September 2026? You have the Six of Swords. So you restored alignment in September. You've restored peace, and you're moving on from this challenge in August. And you've taken someone with you. So you're definitely more aligned with this path. You're going on a new journey in September. Like, this is what I'm getting. You're leaving behind the drama and trying to like restore peace. Like you're doing what is logical. I feel like maybe there's this sense of grandiosity in August that is moving things to and imbalancing things. Like it's tipping to one point where there's too much fire. That's the challenge in August, is that it's kind of set flame to so many things that you need to restore. And unfortunately, I feel like you've aired this and it's only fanned the flames. So now you've cut things back down because you've gone through this dilution process, like this filtration process. That's what I'm getting in September. Like you've restored things back and you put out the fire a little bit and you've filtered things down to one person. Like there's too much noise in August, too much intensity, and it's to a point of almost like burnout in August. So it's be mindful of that, because we can get carried away with the energy from the summer and the long days and the intensity behind it. So I feel like in September things are starting to cool off. Like you've put out the fire, you've doused the fire, and now you are restoring order back to what has happened in August. Like this imbalance is being restored. So there's so much balance in this reading that um, these are the lessons that are coming up, because we want to be mindful of maintaining that balance in every area of life, because it keeps us accountable, it keeps us responsible, it keeps us responsive instead of reactive. It honors our energy and our boundaries. And when we get too much into one direction, it gets too ahead of itself. So there's this intensity from the Magician in August, that in September you have like this forest fire. So from that point on, you've refined this challenge into something that has given you even more discernment, because these challenges are new. So you only have the experience you have to go by. So as you evolve into this new person, these challenges are going to help you reinforce that person and to become better and refine that person. So I feel like in August, things were too aflame, and then in September, you're dousing that. And so now you're emerging as like this even stronger version of yourself. And now you're ready to move on from that lesson. Whatever happens in August is going to challenge you, but you have the power. You've always figured it out. You've always restored order. So September is about moving on from that challenge. And it might have caused you some heartache, but you gained something in the process. And it's that wisdom, and you narrowed down who's meant to be in your life, what really is supportive of the life that you want, and what's destructive. The waters are calm, so you're moving ahead, moving on from this struggle and this challenge. And now the water is calm, peace is restored, and you're just ready to move on from that. And then October, November, December, things really start to ramp up. So you're moving into that ready to take it on. So what do we have in October 2026? What we need to know about October 2026. I feel like what you're leaving behind is going to cause some heartache and grief with the Nine of Swords. Like the pressure is starting to weigh on you, this identity that you've stepped into, but you'll notice that the swords don't touch the person. So there's something keeping you up at night, like this responsibility. Even when you take on team members or this leadership role, you feel like you're so responsible for so many people, and you probably felt that way your whole life. Like you've always been a leader, you've always tried to keep the peace, tried to manage people's emotions, and you've really taken on too much. So this is going to re-emerge. This is a common theme in your life that, it flares up every once in a while. And this responsibility, this pressure, um, could only weigh on you for so long before it affects you in September. So I feel like there's this bed rest that needs to happen because of how much work you've done at this point. You need to take a break in September as we move into the fall, but it's almost like the end of summer is the perfect time to do that. You have those 3 weeks in September where things start to wind down for the summer as we move into this brand new energy, when like school starts back up. So after that, you get to, awaken from your slumber, from your rest, and go back at it. So that's when like cold season starts to come up. This is like a time where resting is important because we need to rest. It's just as important and vital to the process and to our health, than action is. It's probably more important to rest. So, of course, in this reading, with how intense it is, we're going to need rest. So, I feel like September is when things are going to start winding down briefly before you pick that energy back up and you move forward from the end of September to the end of December with that sense of discipline again. So what do we have in October? What do we need to know about October 2026? But you're saving your energy because October is harvest time, and you're going to need all your energy to handle the harvest. Well, yep, that's what I'm getting with the Knight of Pentacles. It's the perfect time. It is harvest time. And you're really proud of what you've achieved up until this point. I think with that time of rest, you gained an appreciation for the challenges that you went through in 2026, as hard as they were, because 2026 is going to be amazing and it is going to test you, and you're going to feel the pressure. Like I said, what's coming is very big, and it's going to really shock our nervous system. So that's why this sense of equilibrium and grounding and maintaining balance is so important, and why rest is so important, because then you get to emerge from it feeling renewed. So you get to appreciate everything you've achieved up to this point. You gain a sense of perspective when you've allowed yourself to rest, and you feel more capable after you've rested, and you have more clarity, and now you get to refocus on what's important and why you started what you started in January. And so you have your eye on this prize, and you know that next year's yield is going to be even bigger, and the year after that, because this master gardener is just going to keep building this garden bigger and bigger and bigger as years go on, but especially in the next 4 years where you're building this empire in this brand new cycle. And so in October, you're appreciating what you've gone through, the lessons you've gone through, you feel renewed, and you're redetermined to take the rest of the year on, the last quarter of the year where you get to lock in again. And it's almost like you get a second chance of the work you've done this year, but with even more experience and more wisdom and more discernment, and from a much higher place, like a much higher baseline. So even though this is your first year gardening, the next 4 years are going to be even better and bigger and more remarkable. So 2026 is the year where your life completely changes, where you start to experience miracles and magic every single day. You realize that you can instantly manifest, that you are the magic in your life, and you are the creator of your story, and you have a higher purpose that God has given you. And when you're in alignment with all these things, it's going to carry you very far in a short amount of time. So by October, you've now harvested this massive yield of abundance. And this is what the Empress card at the start of the reading indicated. So October is when you get to enjoy even more fruits of your labor, where all the money that you started to invest in March is now paying off. The actions you took in March, the decisions you made in March about your money and your finances and your taxes, um, is also part of this harvest in October. It's all of the work you've done in 2026 and all the decisions you made and the byproduct of the work you've done and the alignment that you've maintained and how you've overcome challenges. It's all being rewarded at this time, and it's you're proud of it. You definitely are very proud of it. You knew that you could achieve this, and you believed in yourself all these years, even if it was hard and difficult at times. And you're finally in this place where you've realized that potential. Everything that you prayed for is happening in 2026. And then from that point on, it's just a matter of multiplying those blessings. Okay, so what does November have in store? We're getting closer. This November 26 have in store. Yes, this is where things really start to multiply. We have the Queen of Pentacles. So you went from the Knight of Pentacles into the Queen of Pentacles in a month. So you're like, whoa, look at this massive harvest. And then by the end of that harvest is done, we start to move in the winter months. You have this collection of resources that you've accumulated, that you've developed, that you've built, that you've multiplied, that you've invested. And we have a white bunny at the bottom of this card. So this really is about multiplication. This harvest is going to be invested or utilized, and it's going to expand. So October is when you are rewarded for all this work that you've done, and then November, it it like almost doubles overnight. That's what I'm getting, and then that doubles overnight, and then it just snowballs um, very quickly into 2027. Then 2027 is like where you're like millionaire status. Okay, 2026 is where all this money comes in and it starts to flood in and multiply like crazy. So by November, you're going to have this store of resources that you're going to pull from. And every time you do, you're going to maximize it. You're going to utilize it, or it's going to provide nourishment and energy. And you're just snowballing from there. Snow is the element in November. So that's what I'm getting. Especially with the hair, the white hair, snow is prominent. So that snowballing effect, that compounding effect is happening in November, and it is like your money is just like doubling at this point because of how much you've accumulated, how you've invested it, how you've reached like this infinite banking system. Like you've gained so many skills when it comes to like investing and financial literacy, and you've learned about the infinite banking system. Look that up, by the way. And so you're there's so much growth. Like your halls of your castle are now finely decorated. You have the fine china, you have the storehouse of food for the winter, and it is overflowing. So you're going to be nice and plump all winter long, and you'll never have to worry about food or money ever again. And you have everything you need at your disposal by this point. You have the team of people who you could delegate to, the team of talent, um, the culmination of the teamwork is also something you are benefiting from. Like if you have a team of people that you've hired or you made a contract with or a deal with, that's another thing that's going to provide massive wealth for you in November. So you are feeling like a boss in November. Like you thought you were magnificent as the magician, and now you have grown so much even since then. Oh my god, so November is just like all the money that you invested in April has like multiplied. So you were already like, your empire was starting to show, you were sitting on gold, everything was already, quite lavish by April in this reading, and now you are in November and it's multiplied. So what do we have for the last month of December? What does December 2026 have in store? What do we need to know? How does 2026 end? Thank you for staying with me this long. You did. Congratulations. I appreciate you so much. All right. Yes, this is just the start. You're ending this year and moving into an even brighter year in 2027, but you're packing up, you're taking everything that you picked up with you, and this is just the next part of your path. That everything is just unfolded so beautifully through 2026, and now you get to start another year from all that work, all that experience. So if you thought 2025 was amazing, think of what you were capable after 2026 unfolds, and you will realize how amazing and how powerful you are. And it's really going to blow your mind what you are going to realize that you're capable of in 2026, because like I said, reality is bending to your will at this point. You could have anything that you want and you're just moving forward. There's so much humility and humbleness behind your actions. You've gained so much grace with the amount of favor you've received, and it's only amplified your heart, like I mentioned earlier. So even if you started as like this humble crown or this royal crowned queen who is pregnant and just overflowing, you ended this journey as someone wearing like a literal like cloth, like a sheet. So it's like, even if you've gained all this treasure and you live in a castle and it's so luxurious and you have so much money, it only made you more appreciative, more grateful, more honest. And so you are so humble even after you've realized all this power, which you are incorruptible. You have so much love and so much humility to give, and this is why you're a healer. This is why you're being trusted with all this wealth and all this prosperity, and your responsibility is to do with it. Like, you are supposed to multiply it and do good with it, and to build an empire, and to hire talent, and to benefit others. And people might fight over it, or they might challenge you. It's only made you softer and more humble. So you're willing to do the work even after you've hired all the people, and you have like a maid and a chef, and you've hired help to make your life easier. You are still in that level on the ground floor in the field, doing the work, doing all the work necessary, and just becoming a better human because of it. So 2026 is where you're going to just um, become that person who you are. So you'll feel so spiritual and so divinely connected in the beginning of the year, like you're an angel. We started January as the angel, And then we have this humble looking servant at the end of the year. So it's restoring that balance, that that royalty, lavishness, overindulgence on one hand, and then a humble servant on the other. And this is what makes you not only a good leader, but also a good servant of God who's here to serve and live in their purpose and to bring healing to themselves and their lineage and to others, and to create a lasting legacy and to master themselves and multiply their blessings. So you are being trusted because you are an angel and you are someone who will do good with the wealth that you're going to receive, and you're on this higher path, but you're still so grounded in your humanness, your humanity. So when you're an angel, the polar opposite to maintain that balance is being grounded in the physical realm, like your nervous system, and making sure that you're not greedy or getting ahead of yourself. This is you being true to who you actually are on a spiritual level, in spirit, but also grounding yourself in the embodiment of that and your humanness, because you are here to be a human. Awakening doesn't just include like awakening to our spiritual side and how infinite and miraculous you are, but also your humanity and your human vessel. So there's so much balance here and order that's being restored, so much healing. There's this proactivity, this rest, this challenge and then triumph, this flow and this logic and discipline. There's this beautiful ebb and flow, this dance that you are doing with the universe and with God in 2026. And you're feeling so inspired and so uplifted and protected, but most importantly, loved by God and loved by yourself. And so that's what this year is all about, is that balance and building your empire and then multiplying all the blessings that you're going to receive, and then allowing that to just compound and carry you very quickly into 2027. 2026 is going to be life changing, but it only gets better from there on out. So let's pull an angel number card just to cap off this reading. What do the angels have to say about 2026? Do we need to know? Next one. Okay. Okay. So we have 1441, the family ties, connections, friendships, romantic relationships, and family ties. So how do you move forward toward your life's true calling? Do what makes you happy, your enthusiasm and what keeps you going. Follow your interest if it's piqued by something. Following these routes will help you discover your life's purpose. So it's about following your higher path, those divine breadcrumbs that lead you through life day by day. And that's what this reading started with in January. It's just taking it day by day and being disciplined and consistent and showing up, but not worrying about the past repeating itself or worrying about what's going to happen in the future or what's not going to happen. You are just taking that day by day and going with the flow. So this is a really perfect card just to cap things off, because this is about you living in your higher purpose, your higher path, and being aligned with that and making sure that you're not straying too far from that. There's this room for flexibility and flow, but you're careful to bring things back to center if it gets too far one way or another. And so this is restoring order, restoring healing, and allowing you to thrive from a very grounded place where you've established firm, strong roots from which the growth of the things that you have planted to burst forth and then turns into a massive yield and that yield provides provision and sustenance and resources and trade, or you get more seeds from it and it makes your crop even bigger the next year and your blessings multiply. So these are the themes of 2026. I invite you to watch this over and over and over again, especially throughout the year, because it's just going to provide you that guidance and bring you back to equilibrium, so to speak. So if this was helpful for you and you want to claim this amazing reading, put 2026 in the comments. Let's make it the best year yet. I know it will be. If you liked this, hit that like button, subscribe for more. I put out new readings almost every single day. Save this video, send it to your friends to spread the blessings, because everybody needs to hear what this message is all about, because 2026 is going to be so amazing. I have a new year, new me intuitive glow up reset workshop that I'm hosting on January 17th, 2026. If you want in on it, you really want to own this brand new identity who is so powerful and so magnificent, the waitlist link is in the description as well as the pinned comment, including my shop link where you could book a reading with me or grab a ritual of some sort. I'm here for all your spiritual needs. I'm here to guide you, and I'm just so happy to serve. So blessed and thankful for you, and so excited to see what 2026 has in store. So I'll leave it at that. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.